Good morning, students. Today, let us see about magnetic disc and tape recorders. So, what is meant by magnetic disc? So, it is generally shows the disc which has in circular rectors, which has one sectors and more number of sectors, and then there is a track for each and every time the particular data has to be stored in a particular place. So, generally the primary computer storage device like tapes or it may be recorded can be recorded over a period of times. So disk or rotating plates and magnetic arms moves around it. It may be used to read or write it. So where it has to root, it has to place a tracks for each and every axis. So these concentric tracks called circles. The thinner part will have more storage. The data will be recorded on the magnetic spots of the disk, and it may be used for hard disk in a system or floppy disk, etc. So what is tape recorders? So generally in the olden days we are using audio tape recorders. So tape record disc that may be used to what tape machine stores the sound storage devices that records and plays back including n number of times. So the usage of tape record found in the year of 1930s. We all know magnetable take revolution both that may be used to audio broadcasting or it may be music recording, etc. The alternative recording technologies we have used here, tape recorders for recording the data. It may be used for measurement data. It may be used for recording one storage values. It may be used a number of times we can use it. So this type called tape recorders. So magnetic tape system. So what is it? It can store large amount of data. Same technology of magnetic disk. So it may be used for very thin 0.5 or 0.25 inches with plastic tapes. 7 or 9 bits are recorded parallelly. Separate read-write head is provided each position on the tape in order to read or write all the bits of characters. So this shows the tape system. It may use tape drive belt. It may use magnetic tapes for rotation. So organizing the data in the magnetic tape. So it has to allocate it to read, write, and heads. So data on the tape are organized in the form of records that reproduces the gap. So tape motion has to be recorded simultaneously. So group of files called as files which can helps the organizing large amount of data. So the beginning of file is identified by the file mark, which is special single or multiple characters recorded usually by a gap longer than the inter record gap. The first record mark file mark will use the headers or identifiers for where it has to start the recording system. So it may use rewind tape, rewind and upload tape, erase tape, write tape, forward space, one record, backspace, one record, forward space, one file, backspace, one file. So these are some of the controllers. So methods of formatting and using tapes. So two methods. The methods are variable in length. Tape can be used efficiently or some disadvantage updation or overwriting is not possible. The records of fixed length. So for it has the advantage of possible to update records. So storage of data, backup information can be taken. So cartridge tape, it has to depend upon 8 video format. So capacity will be up to 2 to 5 GB. Data transfer rate few hundred kbps and read-write helical scan systems. So this shows the recording head. So whatever the signal BIOS signal with the amplitude level, it has to add the music with the BIOS and then it has to given to the coil of the recording head. So the unrecorded tape has to make a magnetizing voltage and it has to reproduce on the tapes. Magnetic tape recorders. So as I told, it is a backbone of technology to store the data, reveal the tapes, cassette disc, magnetic tape rotation, etc. for proper proportion of the audio signals. So block diagram. So the coil which has to rotate through the tape. So working principle. So the tape head consists of ring of soft magnetic materials called core with a small gap. So the coil is wounded around the core. The tape travels over the gap in the core. So during recording, audio signal causes current to flow to the coil, producing a magnetic field in the gap, as shown in the diagram. So as the audio signal varies with the amplitude and frequency, does the magnetic fields. So the tape consists of plastic film coated with the material that is magnetizing by the field as it passes over the gap. So as the magnetic field varies in strength and so does the magnetism stored in the tape. So during the playback, the tape passes over the same head. So it is called a record or playback head. So this time the magnetizing storage of tape induces a voltage. So this voltage is amplified and used to drive a loudspeaker. So the advantages: frequency ranges from DC to several megahertz, low distortion, magnitude of the electrical into signal input signal into magnetic memory. The recorded signal is immediately available with no time cost lost. So when the information has produced it, the tape can be erased or reused to record of new data. So it permits multiple channel recording. So applications: instrumentation system, recording audios, recording videos, computers, electrocardiograph, flight test data recording and processing system.